Pilot, family of 5 from Spain killed after helicopter crashes into Hudson River. 6 people were killed after a tourist helicopter carrying a family from Spain crashed into New York City's Hudson River on Thursday afternoon. Crash was reported at 3:17 p.m. on the Jersey City side of the Hudson. Agustin Escobar, a Siemens executive from Barcelona, Spain, his wife Merce Camprubí Montal, and their children ages 4, 5, and 11 were killed in the crash, law enforcement sources told ABC News. Pilot, who was 36, was also killed, making a total 6 people. NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch said the helicopter was operated by New York Helicopters. The FAA believes the helicopter is a Bell 206 and appears to have taken off from the downtown Manhattan heliport at 2:59 p.m. It went up to the George Washington Bridge before turning back south along the Jersey side of the river. It went off radar at 3:25 p.m. Video shared with Eyewitness News appeared to show pieces of the helicopter break apart and crash into the water. Officials say the helicopter hit the water inverted, without a tail rotor or a main rotor blade. For witnesses, it turned out to be a memory full of horror. "I watched it fall out of the sky. I heard 5 or 6 loud noises that sounded almost like gunshots in the sky and saw pieces fall off, then watched it fall into the river," said Danny Horbiak, who saw the crash from her apartment window. "It sounded like a sonic boom on my right, and so I look up and literally I see a helicopter splitting in two with the rotor flying off, and this guy was going straight into the water and nothing came afterwards," said a witness named Max. Officials say the entire flight lasted all of 15 minutes, before witnesses say it took an upside-down nosedive. "It just kind of fell apart and it was the most terrifying thing that we ever witnessed," Rajani said. "I heard some crackling, looked up and then just saw a plane falling apart," said witness Bruce Wall. "And then maybe 15 feet in the air after the tail came off, broke off, and then the plane just sort of tumbled into the water with the propeller still in the air." DNY and NYPD divers were in the water almost immediately and assisted in the recovery. 4 of the victims were declared dead at the scene and 2 victims were sent to local hospitals where they were pronounced dead. Jersey City Medical Center, where the passengers were transported after the crash, tried as hard as they could, Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop said. "Our hearts go out to the family and those on board," Mayor Eric Adams said. A crane vessel hoisted the crumpled wreckage of the helicopter out of the Hudson and onto a barge Thursday night. Fulop said the main body of the aircraft has been recovered and is in the Army Corps of Engineers facility on Chapel Avenue. However, major parts of the aircraft have still not been recovered. He says dive operations by the NYPD and NJSP will resume Friday morning. Police fished out chunks of jagged metal that washed up to the Jersey City shore, along with a life preserver, a seat, and the personal effects of a family of 5. The Spanish consulate of New York City is now in touch with authorities to gather and confirm information and identification of the people involved in the helicopter crash, according to the communications team at the Spanish Foreign Ministry. The Jersey City Police Department is taking the lead on the investigation since the helicopter crashed on the Jersey City side of the river, Fulop said. Fulop said tours in the area are constant and fall within a busy and heavily trafficked area. He hopes this will increase the dialogue to decrease traffic. "Hopefully this brings some more attention to it, that the fact beyond just noise you have real safety concerns," Fulop said. The FAA says they are temporarily halting all operations around the Hudson River crash site. The NTSB is launching a GO team to investigate the crash and is expected to arrive on Thursday night. They will have to piece together what went wrong and what caused the rotors to break apart, dooming the 21-year-old helicopter and the 6 people aboard. At least 32 people have died in helicopter crashes in NYC since 1977, most recently in 2019 when a helicopter used for executive travel hit the roof of Manhattan skyscraper in restricted airspace. And the pilot was killed. 6 people killed after helicopter crashes into Hudson River in New York. Pilot and a family with 3 children who are believed to have been Spanish tourists were killed on board aircraft. A helicopter crashed into the Hudson River in New York on Thursday, killing all 6 people on board, including the pilot and a family of Spanish tourists with 3 children. The sightseeing helicopter broke apart in midair and crashed upside down into the Hudson River between Manhattan and the New Jersey waterfront shortly after 3 p.m. Eastern Time, leading to a huge response from emergency crews. Videos posted on social media showed the aircraft mostly submerged, upside down in the water, and rescue vehicles crowding onto the streets on shore as emergency workers raced to save those on board. At the scene of the crash, the emergency response boats could be seen circling in the water. A crane could also be seen on a floating platform in the river, presumably trying to raise the sunken helicopter. Meanwhile, on shore, fire and police personnel stopped the public and press from reaching the end of a long concrete pier on the river from downtown Manhattan, as scuba teams emerged from the water. The New York mayor, Eric Adams, confirmed 6 people had been pronounced dead, including 3 children and 3 adults. Speaking at a news conference on Thursday evening, Adams said his thoughts were with the crash victims and their families. An investigation into the cause of the accident was ongoing, he said. 3 adults and 3 children were on board the Bell 206 helicopter that had left from downtown Skyport, Adams said. The victims were a pilot and a family believed to be visiting from Spain, he said. Jessica Tisch, the NYPD commissioner, said most of the passengers were already dead when they were removed from the water, but 2 passengers were taken to a nearby hospital, where they died soon after. Witness Bruce Wall told the Associated Press he saw the helicopter falling apart in midair, with the tail and propeller coming off. Propeller was still spinning without the aircraft as it fell, he said. Leslie Camacho, a hostess at a restaurant along the river in Hoboken, New Jersey, told the AP she saw the helicopter spinning uncontrollably before it slammed into the water. The rescue operations took place near a site close to the Manhattan waterfront, near the end of a long maintenance pier for one of the ventilation towers for the Holland Tunnel, a busy under-river road tunnel connecting the city with New Jersey. Over the years, there have been multiple crashes in the skies over Manhattan, which are routinely filled with both planes and helicopters, including private recreational aircraft and commercial and tourist flights. Prior incidents include a collision in 2009 when a tour helicopter and a small private airplane collided over the Hudson River, killing 9 people. In 2018, a sightseeing helicopter offering open-door flights went down into the East River, killing 5 people. New York City banned open-door helicopter flights following the crash. The spot where the helicopter crashed is less than 3 miles south of where U.S. Airways Captain Chesley Sullenberger expertly landed the passenger plane he was piloting on the water, with no lives lost, after the engines were put out in a bird strike after takeoff from LaGuardia Airport. The rare successful emergency landing on water became known as the Miracle on the Hudson. Crash site is close to the southern end of the island of Manhattan, within sight of the Statue of Liberty and the One World Trade skyscraper at the site of the September 11th terrorist attack. New Yorkers were jogging and walking along the sidewalk near the Hudson as normal on Thursday evening, overlooking the scene of the crash with emergency boats still visible across the water on the New Jersey side, blue lights flashing. Software engineers and friends Mike Jones, 37, and Omar Mohammed, 21, said they were out for a walk during a break and they had heard the news of the crash. It seems that helicopters crash a lot. And I'm afraid of heights anyway, so helicopters are a no-go for me, Jones said. Mohammed said, "There was just another helicopter crash, right? Recalling the helicopter crash in Washington, D.C. at the end of January, when a military flight collided midair with a passenger plane coming in to land. All people aboard both flights were killed. Siemens exec and his family identified as victims in deadly Hudson helicopter crash. The exec's wife and 3 children were also killed in the crash Thursday. An executive of Siemens, a European technology company, his wife and young children were aboard the tourist helicopter that plunged into New York City's Hudson River on Thursday, leaving no survivors. Agustin Escobar, his wife, Merce Camprubi Montal, and their children, aged 4, 5, and 11 years old, have been identified as victims in the crash along with the pilot, aged 36, law enforcement sources told ABC News. Escobar was named as an executive of Siemens division in Spain and Southwest Europe in 2022, according to a press release from the technology conglomerate. The former head of Siemens' Spanish arm, Miguel Angel Lopez, spoke highly of Escobar in the release, saying his work was key to the company's success. With Agustin Escobar, we have the best possible successor to lead from now on the company in Spain. In recent years, his work has been key to Siemens' success in the field of mobility and transport, Lopez said. The identity of the pilot, who was flying the New York helicopter's chartered chopper, has not yet been released. The family was visiting New York City from Barcelona, Spain, two Spanish officials told ABC News. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating what led to the deadly incident. Crash occurred at 3:17 p.m. off the coast of River Drive in Hoboken, New Jersey, just over 15 minutes after it departed from the Wall St. Heliport, officials said during a press briefing on Thursday. The helicopter reached the George Washington Bridge before turning south and crashing, officials said. Our hearts go out to the family and those on board, New York City Mayor Eric Adams said during the briefing. Chopper, identified by the Federal Aviation Administration as a Bell 206 helicopter, was on its sixth flight of the day. It was found upside down in the 50-degree water when rescuers arrived at the scene, officials said.